What's good, YouTube? In today's video, I have another Warzone game for you guys, but of course, as you can tell from the title and thumbnail, we're actually going through all of my Warzone Season 6 going into Season 7 in the Vanguard integration settings. I just want to go through and update all of my settings for you guys because I feel like I haven't dropped one in a little while, and I've been winning tournaments, placing really well, and getting a lot of comments about them. So, like I just said, I want to go through, showcase them all. I don't want a super long intro, so real quick, if you guys are new here, hit the sub button, leave a like, leave a comment, hit that bell to be notified when I upload my daily videos. Without further ado, hop straight into the settings. You guys already know I actually do play controller on PC, so I don't even need the keyboard and mouse tab. If you guys do need keyboard and mouse like tips and all that stuff, I'm sadly not the one for that. But hopping straight into general, I have, of course, controller, 120 FOV, which is a field of view, which is sadly only a PC option for Warzone right now. But I do run affected ADS field of view, which is super helpful if you guys are on PC. Running 120 FOV or even a high FOV, affected is a must use. It actually gives you less visual recoil. I'm telling you guys, on controller, affected ADS field of view is disgustingly good. Okay, so go ahead and toss it on if you guys aren't already. You shouldn't be running independent. Next, I got my brightness on 50. This is all preference in your monitor and everything. So that's just a setting that you can change for yourself. Next is my HUD bounce. I actually have mine on 0, so my mini map, my ammo, my health is all zoomed in a little bit closer, so my eyes don't have to travel as far of a distance. It's not that much of a change. I've just switched to 0 and I like the difference. I can definitely tell a difference as well. So if you guys haven't already, try a 0 or even 50 or 30. I see a lot of people in a lot of different spots with this, so just test out where you guys want to sit with it. Like I'm saying, I'm running 0. Colorblind type, I have Deuteranopia with the both colorblind target. I get a lot of compliments on my game. My game looks fantastic. It's super colorful in most parts. I don't even run NVIDIA filters, so if you guys want to, toss on this colorblind type. Next, I got the square mini map, and as you can tell by the picture, the square mini map literally gives you more mini map. I say this in every single settings video I do, but we're almost 2 years deep into Warzone now, and I just gotta say, if you guys aren't running a square mini map, I have no idea what you're doing. It's pretty self-explanatory. I don't know why you'd want a circle mini map, but keep scrolling down. I have enabled rotation, kill feed on time on screen. I didn't even know this was a setting. I have mine on default. Text chat, all this stuff. This is all you guys. Of course, down in these settings, these are only PC settings again, which again is very sad. I'm gonna get through more settings that apply to PC and console, but basically these little boxes are these boxes up top that you guys see. Just showcases the stats of your PC, getting the frames, the temp, all that stuff. You can turn on whatever you want. I only have these 3 turned on at all times. And then of course when I mute, that pops up, but they're pretty helpful. If you guys haven't already, you can toss them on. Hopping straight into the graphics settings, I actually play full screen. I am on a dual PC setup, and full screen gives you a tiny bit more performance. It's really not that noticeable. You guys can run full screen borderless, especially if you're on single PC. Display monitor, this is the monitor you play on. This is your GPU. This is your monitor refresh rate. I have a 144 hertz monitor. Next, you have your render resolution. I do play at 1080p. I know a lot of people play at 1440p, but I play on a 144 hertz monitor with 1080p. You really only want to be running this at 100 if you are at 1080. Of course, you can go higher if you're higher than that, but you don't really want to go lower than 100. I doubt anybody's playing lower than 1080. VSync I have disabled. I have my custom frame rate capped right above my refresh rate. I usually cap it at around 200. That's whatever you guys want to do. I don't really know what to tell you guys there. Just go right above the refresh rate or whatever you want to be. NVIDIA highlights I have disabled. Reflex low latency I have enabled, plus boost. My game feels fantastic, and my game just feels really smooth with setting. I used to have it disabled, and then I looked deeper into it, and it just feels great with it enabled plus boost. If you guys want to, go ahead, toss it on, give it a try. I got my display gamma at 2.2 sRGB. As you guys can tell, the sRGB is for monitors, and I always say this, if you guys haven't already, I would definitely try to switch to a gaming monitor. A monitor compared to a TV is huge. The delay, the latency, everything is very noticeable. If you guys are playing this game slightly more than casual, even casually, it definitely boosts the experience for the game, so I would definitely recommend hopping on a monitor if you guys aren't already. Hopping into the actual graphics settings, I'm telling you guys, I always run normal or low settings just for my overall performance because the game still looks good. So I run normal, low. Particle quality is the only setting I have on high because I just think this is the one setting that actually is a noticeable difference from low to high with the way your game looks, so I've always run it on high. Bullet impacts and sprays I have enabled. I don't know why you would turn it off. It doesn't really affect your game that much. Tessellation I have disabled, and then I have standard streaming demand quality. I don't even know what that does, but I have it on standard. Moving down low on the shadows and everything, like I said, I run everything low and disabled. So I have low, disabled, low, disabled. I've always ran these settings since the day one of Warzone, and like I keep saying, my game looks pretty good. And I get pretty good performance. So these are super solid settings. If you guys haven't already, I'm telling you guys, your game will still look good with all these settings on low and disabled. Filming strength, I have 1.0. DLSS I actually have turned off. I remember when the setting first dropped, I tried every single setting and a ton of different variations of settings with it, and every single time I had the setting turned on, my game looked really blurry and fuzzy, so I instantly turned this off. I don't know exactly what it does, but my game looks terrible with it, so I don't run it. Anti-aliasing I have off, and then I run disabled. Of course, the motion blurs. If you guys are still running motion blurs, just like the minimap thing, we are almost 2 years deep. Okay, there's no reason to be running motion blur on this game. It makes it not look very good unless you're doing TikToks and stuff and you're going for these like movement clips, of course. But honestly, the motion blur, it looks disgusting, and I have no idea why you'd be running it on a normal basis. So I'll go ahead and disable it. Film grain I have 0. Dynamic resolution I have disabled, and then I have 60 dynamic resolution frame rate target. Again, don't know what this does, but I have disabled. But those are all my graphic settings. I'm telling you guys all the low and disabled settings. You want the best performance, so go ahead, give all those settings a try. Tell me how those go for you. But hopping straight into audio, I run a boost high audio mix. Of course, as you guys can tell, I have Astray 40s, and I've always been told that with Astray 40s, boost high works the best, and I do get pretty good audio. There's select few situations that I don't get any audio, I don't get any footsteps. For the most part, I get pretty good audio. But moving down, I have 50 master volume, so I go 50, 0, 50, 60. With 100 cinematics, this needs to be turned down ASAP. But I'm telling you guys, this is just all your own settings. Go through to your preference and set it for yourselves. Mono audio is another big setting. Basically takes your audio of your headset and puts both left and right and all your directional audios into both directions. So it's one path, and I highly recommend turning this off if you guys even have thought about turning it on, because if you have it disabled, you can't tell your lefts from rights, and you're above you, behind you, below you, know what I'm saying? If you have it disabled, you can tell all your directional stuff. So go ahead, 100% run this disabled. And then of course the voice chat, all this stuff, this is all you guys, this is all everything for your own settings personally. So hopping straight into the controller settings, these are actual settings that apply to PC and console. So I run default button layout. I actually run on a scuff impact. I usually run 2 paddles, sometimes I use all 4, but I usually play claw, default, all this stuff with paddles. So I run default button layout, default stick layout. I don't run invert vertical look. I don't know really why you would. Deadzone, I have a 0.10. I started doing it for stick drift, and then I just kind of got used to it with the resistance of the analog sticks, and I kind of aim better with it higher. I don't know how to 100% explain that, but I've always ran a 0.10 Deadzone. A lot of people run lower, like 0.05. 0.07, even 0.03, so you guys could test out where you guys want to be, but I run a 0.10. I have a 9.9 sensitivity with a 0.80 low zoom and a 1.0 high zoom. I've always said find a sensitivity you're comfortable with movement wise, and then from there take your low and high zoom and tweak it for your aim. You guys could definitely give my 9.9, 0.8, 1.0 a try as a basis, and then go from there and tweak it for your preference and just to make it more comfortable for yourself. But I'm telling you guys, I've been running 9.9 for the longest time, and I feel fantastic. So if you guys want to, like I said, give it a try. Aim response curve type, I have dynamic. At the beginning of Warzone, I had no idea what this meant. And you guys could probably even go back and see that I used to run standard until I looked further into what these do. And dynamic is by far the best curve type you could be running on controller. It's like the build up from point A to point B on your analog stick when you're aiming. Like I just said, you guys, if you guys want to look into deeper depth videos about this, you guys can, but I'm telling you guys, dynamic is without a doubt 100% the best option. So go ahead and toss it on. I run controller vibration disabled. I always make this more of a big deal than it needs to be, but I've always said it actually does affect you in this game, because the way Modern Warfare and the Modern Warfare engine works, it really does shake that controller. And I feel like for me, it made a difference back on MW 2019 multiplayer, and this is the first Call of Duty I disabled it, and I actually felt like I was playing better with it off. So you guys haven't already, you guys always have had it enabled. Go ahead and just try for a little bit on disabled and tell me if that changes at all for you. But I run a disabled. Aim assist, I run standard. There's really no point to be changing this. I looked a little bit into these two, but I just think standard's the best aim assist. If you guys want to try other ones, you can, but I've always been on standard. Scale aim assist with FOV, I have disabled. As you guys can tell from the picture, these white boxes are your aim assist boxes, and on disabled, you literally get more aim assist. But if you're more of like a snappy player, you can run enabled. But this is one of those settings that if you've been running a certain one since day one of Warzone or day one of PC Warzone, you don't really want to switch up. And I've always been on disabled. I tried switching to enabled, and I just couldn't really comfortably switch back and forth. So I've been always on disabled, and like I just said, you literally get more aim assist. Weapon mount, all this stuff, this is all you guys. ADS, I run hold, steady aim, hold. Contextual tap for the use/reload behavior is a huge Warzone setting. It lets you tap to loot, tap to interact, tap to reload, everything. The only times it messes you up is when you're in a vehicle, you have to hold to reload. But I'm telling you guys, for Warzone, it makes your life a whole lot easier, and it makes everything quicker around the map. So if you guys aren't already, go ahead and toss on contextual tap. Depleted, I've enabled. Armor plate, I know a lot of people have apply all on this. I've always had apply one. I feel like it gives me more control over the situation mid-fight. And I'm like mid-fight, I'm plating, running away, controlling angles, all this stuff. I've always had apply one. I haven't really tried apply all. That's more of a preference setting if I'm being honest. So you guys could try apply one if you guys haven't already. Slide behavior, I have tap. I wasn't always running tap slide behavior, but it made me a whole lot quicker when I switched to it. I don't know why I was running hold. If you guys are still running hold slide behavior, it's really pointless. 100% switch to tap to slide. Auto move forward I have disabled, but automatic sprint I have automatic tactical sprint, which ATS, especially this paired with the tap to slide, it makes your movement a ton better. I always say this, I didn't run either for the longest, and then I switched to both at the same time. My movement got a lot better. I was flying around the map. Now I'm just gliding. I really cook through fights. I'm telling you guys, these two settings are huge, especially combined together. So give both a try if you guys haven't already. Parachute auto deploy disabled, and then tactical sprint is double tap. This doesn't even matter because I have automatic tactical sprint. But overall, those are all my settings for Warzone Season 6 and going into the Vanguard integration. Of course, I'll update you guys with all my settings again once we get there. I just wanted to give it all to you guys one last time because like I keep saying, I've been winning tournaments, placing really well, doing really good in these gameplays, and I get a lot of comments about it in my streams and everything. So I wanted to run through one last time. Like I said, make sure to give them all a try. Tell me down in the comments below if any of them help you, and if they do, make sure to go down below and hit the big red subscribe button. But overall, like I said, those are all my settings.